Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to another World of Warships live stream. I'm MrConway and with me is the always beautiful Mr. Crysantos.
Hello everybody and welcome to today's stream where we have a bit of special things with us.
Yes.
Not just in terms of things we're going to talk about, but we also have brought with us a special guest because we brought Ev1n from our St. Petersburg studio. We're actually tuning him in from St. Petersburg. And why don't you push the button?
Should we push the button?
Should
really?
we push the button? Do you guys want to have Ev1n on the stream?
I kind of feel we need to leave him waiting a little bit longer, otherwise he'll feel too spoiled. But I really want to give a shout out to all of you guys who are live with us already on YouTube and Facebook. I can see a huge amount of you, and so I think the news that we have things to talk about has spread around, which is excellent because we do have things to talk about. But anyway, let's not keep him waiting for too long. Let's say hello to Ev1n. Hello, Ev1n.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Am I there? Am I alive?
Am I on TV?
But can you hear?
Am I famous?
Is he talking? I don't know.
Oh god damn it. I think something wrong with the audio set.
Yes, very happy to have you here. Always a pleasure. But maybe introduce yourself for those who do not know you. Who are you? What are you doing?
Hey guys, I'm the executive producer for World of Warships, and what I do everything. I keep people in check. I make sure that things work and that people continue working on CV balance.
So he's basically our internal fun police. Yes, the things that we're going to talk about. We have 3 new ships to reveal on this stream today. And also a new game mode that we're going to talk about.
Yes, but then that's not actually everything. We did have, I think, initially 5 ships to talk about and some other more stuff, but we thought it would be unfair if we take away all the thunder. So for those of you who speak Russian, you can also tune in tomorrow evening for the Russian language stream on YouTube and Twitch, and there'll be some more announcements. But of course, all of these announcements, as always, will also be done on our development blog, which you can find on Facebook, on Reddit, and on all of the regional forums. So if you're looking for the information, if you want to follow up, if you want to know detailed ship stats about things we talked about, if you maybe have to go away now and can't catch the stream, or if you don't speak Russian, do consider checking out the dev blog. If you just Google it, you'll find it. It's very easy. Cool.
Exactly.
But I think we should probably start off and just play a game of World of Warships to warm up.
That would be awesome.
Because we know there are many people who won't be entirely on time. We don't want to, we want to make sure everybody can participate in the announcements. Exactly.
And nothing could go wrong with the 3 of us being in the division.
It's I remember
like
the last time
when we played. We didn't do it live on stream, but when we played Kreml, I think it ended up on Reddit with 1 or 2 upvotes.
Yeah, it was critical. But I think we should do that. So let's do that. And a quick reminder for all of those of you who have forgotten, right? We have this cool Honor versus Glory competition in game right now, where you can get free stuff. All you have to do when you log in is choose Honor or Glory. I'm going to go with Honor because I know they're going to win today, clearly. So I want more tokens.
So it seems we have more honorable players than glorious players.
Yes.
No, I'm full glory.
You're full glory?
Really?
I like the icon more. Well, why are you laughing? That's a legitimate choice factor here.
Yes, I know, but I think most of the people go for the min-max approach, which is vote for the winning team.
That's not me.
That's true. So, where is Mr. Ev1n in my very long contact list? Why? Are you not in the clan?
I have a complaint. I am in the clan. I have a complaint. You guys promised to invite me to the clan and you didn't. Didn't. Still.
We can
I've
fix
been waiting
that now.
for months.
Okay, I just have to say, right, that the person who's technically supposed to invite you, seeing that he is the executive officer of the clan, or at least the person who's doing the organization of the clan for us, is Taki. So I'm going to blame Taki for this one.
Yes, blame Taki.
Yes,
Hashtag blame Taki.
We
Clearly.
should blame Taki, yes.
Always.
Problem is he's probably listening.
Whenever
so
you're not
probably
blaming me, you can blame Taki, yes.
John has a very good suggestion. You should send a ticket to Wargaming.
You could try, yes.
I could make so many jokes right now, but I'll refrain.
So you're also not on my contact list for some reason. Wow. Invite to clan. There we go. Did you get the invitation?
Oh, and we also have the mighty jingles in
In
the
chat?
stream. Yes.
Wow.
How are you doing, Jingles? I saw your beautiful cosplay.
You know what? I just have to say, I think this is one announcement. Since he's just here, we need to change our plans slightly.
Okay.
Okay.
We can...
So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm very pleased to announce that Commander Captain the Mighty Jingles will be appearing in World of Warships soon. TM.
Yes, we were trying to get more information that we can get to you on how you can get your hands on him, but we're not allowed to share this yet. So that is information that will come at some point in the hopefully near future for you guys. But he's going to come in one of the next updates. So stay tuned for him.
Yes.
And I hope everybody here wants to get Jingles. I definitely want to get Jingles and have him as my voiceover for all of my ships.
Yes, but we will, of course, begin testing Jingles very, very soon to make sure he doesn't misidentify too many ships. But
maybe
we'll
Jingles can actually give us a teaser and say what was his personal favorite line that he gave to Wargaming.
Oh, yes, Jingles. In chat, let us know.
In chat.
If we can see. Anyway,
that looks glorious, absolutely.
We wanted to play the game, right? So that's the game. I don't want to play the
Dallas?
No, I don't want to play the
was
Dallas.
curious.
I'm sorry. Not that I have anything against the Dallas, but I really wanted to play my recent most favorite ship, which is the Ori.
Yeah. The Rabbit Artward is asking, hey, will all of the ships be misidentified? I think not all of them.
Depends by whom.
Yes, but by Jingles, I mean, there's a certain ships have a higher chance of being misidentified.
Yes.
But only certain ships.
We may or may not have built that into his commander voice lines.
And our...
So the Mighty Jingles had answered. So he says, the voice line, "You are our last hope," with his version is, "Looks like it's all up to you now. Try not to suck." Which
and
I
the
think is
Rabbit, no, unfortunately, not yet.
I think we actually didn't censor that one, so...
Did you
And
actually
also,
censor
Evan,
something?
Evan, you do have an invitation to the clan.
I know, I already clicked it, but it'll take a while to update.
Cool. So we're playing tier 10 apparently. And we're playing random battles, not co-op.
We surprisingly we are not in
Please,
co-op.
guys.
It's it's really a common problem for me. If only we knew someone who we could talk to in the World of Warships development office to not make the default after going into any other game mode co-op, but to turn it to random battles, as people who go to other game modes will probably.
I think this is a feature that was specifically developed for you.
Yes.
Yes, exactly, and that's why it's not in the game, because we usually don't favor very small target groups for features. Especially not one-person target groups.
Okay, well, if you believe, like a lot of people on Reddit, for instance, a lot of our players would probably benefit from this.
Okay, I guess. Oh, you know what? I'm tempted. Okay, I will just.
Well, I can choose
We
something
don't-
else, but
Should we have an Evan video here? Evan, like little Evan window.
Little Evan on the
Should we have one?
chat.
We
Let us know.
can chat. Do you want to see Evan and less of the game, or do you want to see more of the game and less of Evan? You can choose.
no, come on. The game is much better than me, much prettier, and I have a whiteboard with development stuff behind me.
You could adjust.
No,
the
I'm
camera.
joking. There's nothing in there.
There's
Yeah,
only.
the
Oh no! Is there a
resolution
secret?
is-
Oh no, we cannot talk about this. No. Yes. So guys, I know a few of
people
you
want Evan.
are a
Let
bit
me
late
see.
and asking like, oh, where are the announcements? What ships are they talking about? So we will play one match and then we'll talk about 3 of the new ships that we put on the dev blog. Also, it would be really nice to know whether you guys like to have that kind of early teaser where you can guess a bit what ship might be hiding beneath the smoke.
Where could we put Evan?
We could put him over chat. On top of us or
No.
on the right side?
Nobody.
You can join us on the left side, yes.
Nobody needs chat.
Exactly.
No, nobody needs an Evan.
Yeah. Evan can be quick voice commands.
Oh, well, you guys have to understand that you'll be contributing to the Hawkeye memes when you do that. So
This is fine. We love the Hawkeye memes.
sure, I'm sure you do.
And you know what the best thing is about this now? So we can.
Are you trying to torpedo Evan?
Wait.
What's this? This looks very wrong.
Whoa.
Okay.
I hope I didn't break anything there, but it's pretty soft. Should be fine.
Yeah, the people in the battle already know that they're on TV.
Ah, god damn it! Tanato was playing, so of course.
You have the French controls?
The French controls.
There's nothing worse than French controls if you're not French, because
You just don't know which button to push.
exactly.
It's like, why is my ship not going forwards?
Oh no, and Mimi's on the enemy team in a Pobeda.
What?
So we'll have to push her out of her comfort zone over there.
Oh, is it Mimi, really?
Yes.
Well, hello there. I can always go to the next room if I die. And
We also have
Poker.
Crosswax, one of the new French CCs in the Yoshino, but on our side.
Okay. Anyway, game face is on. Chris, where do you want me?
is there a plan?
I want you to be the best of you can be, so you have to fall back a bit.
Oh, there is a CV. Please protect me.
It's the
I will
beginning of
just
the
come
game.
snuggle.
Please fall back.
I'm your best. I'm hugging you, Conway, because there's a carrier.
So Panda is saying, where are our torpedoes? Of course, we have them with us here, but maybe later. Maybe later. We can
So this is actually something that we need to talk to you guys about, because we have, like they do now exist, but we
have two options actually.
Yes, we have some distribution problems, right? Because how do we get you the chance to give you these torpedoes? Because it's not that easy. And we also realized that ordering a large amount of torpedoes is very unfeasible because you need to keep them somewhere. And we just got our first delivery of 16 today, and I think it was like 2 cubic meters because they're huge.
Here comes the
Guys,
first
where
salvo.
do you actually want to go?
Ugh, missed me.
I think I have a good salvo under Des Moines. Oh, it's Papa-san.
Wow, it's
A lot
like
of familiar
everybody's in this game.
But Evan, what's your plan?
Not
do you
to
wanna
die.
go? Okay, that's in general a good plan. At least that early on.
Trash can.
There's a trash can, yes.
I think it's time to reload boost. He's smoking.
Do-do-do-do.
God damn it! What a waste.
Show the
of
ships
reload
already
boost.
nameless? We will after this match. So no worries, we just wanted to give you guys some time to actually come here and settle in.
Yes, absolutely nothing to do with our desire to be trollish.
No, you would never do.
No,
Broadside's
You
out.
know us. You know us. Oh, broadside's out. That's
Out
something we
disappeared.
want to do.
Like I'm gonna, I have defensive AA. He's shooting me. He did that much damage. Wow. Evan, Pixie.
Oh, there's the Des Moines. Ooh, Papa-san detonate our Kitakaze. Not approved. Not approved.
So hard to concentrate.
I'm not concentrating at all. I've done 6,000 damage. This is laughable.
Well, if you can get Papa-san out, that would be good. Because it's
No,
pretty low.
there's an
That's the
island.
plan. But my dispersion will.
Oh, I got it.
Nice.
And I also have the feeling that
Ah.
this CV is very intent on my death.
Broadside Pobeda as well.
Can we get this shimmer down? Looks like he's going to go down. Can I contribute? No, good. He's down.
Oh, there's the Tashkent.
Yeah, I'm gonna loop around and come back. Although I really don't think I need to give you AA cover. I think it's you guys that need to give me AA cover because I think that enemy CV.
You could
Has,
just shoot the Tashkent. That would already be helpful.
Okay, well I'll come back and I'll try to shoot him.
Well, he's not going to be visible for long. But I get 6k into him, so.
Oh shit, midway.
Is it coming from me?
No. It looks as though he is legitimately coming from me again.
What did you do to him? Where did you touch him?
I don't know, maybe I banned him on the forum or something. Oh, come on. No, not like this. Ah, did I really fuck? Ah, God, sorry.
As long as you
That's
don't beach.
I
eat.
just took 2 of them out the butt.
I got some hits on the Pobeda though.
Good. So that is actually fully frozen.
And he's coming back again for another run. This is ridiculous. Oh, is he not going for me?
Come on, give me a
We
second.
should-
No.
Probably push somewhere, but the question is where.
Well, I have to retreat because I have most of the. Well, now they're not focusing me that much anymore, but I'm already at 1.7 million potential. Attracting some fire over here. Too bad we couldn't get the deal.
Oh, Iowa on the flank. Ow. Thank you, Midway.
I honestly think the Grozovoi is probably gonna talk about. Is he actually coming around the corner or is he staying? No, he's pushing around, okay.
Okay, how you doing health-wise? You okay?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Burning, but fine.
This is fine, absolutely.
Oh, torpedoes.
Retreat in a French cruiser? What madness is this? Says Ghost Phoenix. Absolutely. He's going for you, right? Wow, Yamato.
The
Yamato
CV is
loves you.
absolutely going for me, and I really thought that Henri can accelerate faster than this. But
Oh,
it
wow.
cannot. So I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4 of them.
I think I'll tank for you.
Yes, that would be nice because I'm close to my last heal already.
Just switch position.
Oh, I'm actually comfy here. You can just join me right next to me.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Good.
I want to know what's happening with that Iowa.
Well, if he is pushing, then we can punish him. The Pobeda is actually broadsided to you. Nacho.
I can't. He's behind the island.
Okay. I hope we can get D because then we're leading in.
I would push though, you know, guys. I'm maybe I'm passive aggressive, but
Yeah, sure. But you get to take the
Or
lead.
just aggressive.
oh, just aggressive, yes. Ah, she wants me. Oh, ouch.
That hurt.
She got me, yes.
Who, Iowa?
Well, I got
No,
her in
probably
return
not.
as well, but
Okay, then let's push into C. The Tashkent is over there. I'm not sure where the Jutland is. He might have doubled back by now. You when you say push, do you mean push towards our spawn or towards the cap?
no, not towards the cap. I'm just slow in turning.
Okay. Okay, I think we can push this. Republic.
Wow.
North Carolina.
I am dead.
What happened to you?
Iowa pushed, by the way.
Simultaneous rocket planes
Yeah, but the
plus
Iowa should be
North
going
Carolina.
I can't really do much about him. He's nose on.
Yeah, I was burning him down, but unfortunately I am no more. This
But
was a terrible
our
game.
Iowa is giving him broadside.
No, he's
I hope
angled
the
right.
Iowa
It's
is not-
fine actually.
Is he?
Yeah, just on the verge.
Don't touch me, Iowa.
Is he being greedy?
No, it looks
Ah,
fine.
he was being greedy and trying to get the rear guns on, but he's seen the error of his ways. But he's gonna also take 6 torps from our 3 torps from our CV now.
Is he going for you? Yeah.
Yeah, no, rocket planes didn't get me in North Carolina. Got me in the broadside.
Yes, this is as much as I'm willing to go forward.
Republic.
Yes. Okay, the Iowa's down, so that's the threat to our broadside.
Nice. Nice double crumble push here. This is how we like it.
That's what the ship is built for. Gotta push.
Is there a Shima still somewhere, or is that the Jutland? That's
No,
missing?
Jutland.
Okay,
Jutland.
Jutland's fine. I don't care about Jutland.
Okay, might actually get that cap. Don't think the CV is able to get here in time.
Broadside Pobeda.
Might be angled enough, but we'll try.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. Who's that?
North Carolina, I think, or Republic from over northeast.
Okay, I'm a bit worried about the Jutland. But CV spotting now, so...
I'm a bit worried about pushing because the number on my detection meter says 6, so
That's a big number.
a bit worrying, yes.
Okay, I hope we can get this cap.
Ah, North Carolina whiffed is so lucky.
Ha.
Come on, this should be a citadel on the Pobeda.
Could use some spotting on this North Carolina. Oh, no, no.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
we get the
Not
cap at
showing.
least.
You know, he's not
Oh.
showing anything good, so it's all good.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we should get the Sal, actually.
Yes.
We'll try. He's probably going to turn away.
Ow, 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 ow. Wow, 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 wow. That hurts me.
Evan, you seem to be on fire.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
seem to not have fire prevention.
I do actually.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's just one animation. Oh, the animation's just split then. Okay.
Okay, okay. Oh, he might punish me for this turn.
I think he is.
Oh.
You got so lucky there. Wow.
Yes.
All skill, no luck.
Midway will torp me instead.
Get the Sal.
No. Oh,
Long
this
range
might
is
be
just a little bit-
this might be the last of me.
No, come on. We can survive this. I believe.
Ah, flooding. Flooding,
doesn't
fire,
really-
everything.
It doesn't matter though. You did what you had to do.
Ah. It's I blame team as usual. Nobody's pushing.
But we don't have to blame the team because we're winning. We're holding 3 caps. Grosvoy is about to make a run on the 4th.
Excellent.
All the
It
enemy
was,
team is at the other end of the map. Should be fine.
I was blaming them just in case, you know.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I understand.
You know, you always watch the streams from our beloved contributors, and some of them always say that the team managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you need to blame them preemptively.
Well, I think we can do this. Hopefully. I don't want to jinx it.
Jingles it.
No, leave me alone, Republic.
Yeah, actually,
he's actually going to take out the North Carolina.
I was just bad positioning, to be honest. You're positioned better than me.
Okay, with the North Carolina gone, I should be able to
Yeah.
brawl the Pobeda.
Careful, you've got Torps incoming from the left.
Yeah.
Bombers. Although he's down to he's lost most of his reserves now. He's launching with a single flight of bombers only. So at least
Yeah,
he's
but
not
the ship
gonna.
is not really the most.
I know, but
agile when it
at
comes
least
to-
he's not going to come back with another wave. That's what I mean. Like he's not going to come farm you. He's got 1 drop. That's all he's got. And then he has to go recharge.
Flooding. Well, the cruise is a bit of my problem.
I think we really have to take out Mimi Missile. Not because it's the smart choice, but because it's Mimi Missile.
I'll try.
Mimi reversing away from the enemy.
That's a smart thing to do. What can you say? Ow, that fire
Like-
spam though.
Yep.
Come on, can you get getting low?
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah, come on, this is the one.
Come on. Oh,
Ah,
No,
stole it.
somebody else
snatched,
got it.
Snatched.
By Yoshino, of all things.
Ah, there we go. Well, 3.9 million potential damage. I think we did our
That's
job.
a lot of potential damage.
Did
How
you really
much?
get the salvos on range?
3.9
3.9 million.
3.9, wow, okay.
Well, this ship is great for this.
Yeah, I know. I usually farm potential as well, but now I only have about 2.
When we get 4
3.9
caps,
is-
yeah.
Well,
This
now
looks like
that
a win.
we've
We have 4 caps. The enemy doesn't have DDs anymore, and we're
But-
leading by 1 ship. I will trust the team to win this.
Should I go back? Yes.
Yes,
We're
let's
just
go
going to
back.
leave the team. I think it is time to make the first announcement before chat runs riot. Right? Do you guys want to hear something about new ships?
Do you want to?
Okay, so we'll let you chat. You can choose the flavor, right? So we've got a British ship, a German ship, and a pan-European ship. Which one would you like to hear about first?
And the chat seems to be German.
German.
I think they don't want to see any new ships.
Wow.
I
It's
don't.
No,
I
it's
see
defi-
Russian.
Okay, no. I think German takes it, which I am okay with. Okay, well, then without further ado, I am very, very proud to present the first of the new ships of this evening, the new German ship. Isn't she absolutely glorious, guys?
Yes. I mean, just look at that silhouette.
You guys are the worst trolls in TV history.
Okay, so the ship that we are talking about is in fact an upcoming, soon-to-be-tested Tier 9 German super heavy cruiser by the name of Siegfried.
Can I just say that? I love the
Grossa
name.
smoke first. That's a good one. I like that.
Which I think she is particularly beautiful. You can see her here on one of our secret super test clusters in all her glory. Of course, we're going to follow up with like in-depth statistics later. But basically, she's a 380 millimeter gun carrying large cruiser. So she's got only the 6 guns, which you think like, oh my god, she's going to be so inaccurate. No, but she has to compensate for the lack of barrels by accuracy, which is quite nice considering that she's also a large cruiser. She'll come in the first testing iteration with a special hydroacoustic search, increased HE penetration, as you know it and love it from the German line, and good solid armor capable of actually tanking and bouncing. So I haven't seen the armor scheme yet, but I would hazard a guess that she'll come equipped with a turtleback.
Yeah, I mean, she does have 27 millimeter plating, and hit points she has almost 36k, so 62.85k health. And I know that guys are going to be asking about, what's the firing range and so on. So all of these stats with detailed numbers as usual will follow later on the dev blog. I will just hand out probably the most important ones for you guys. So she has 3 times double turrets with 380 millimeters. The firing range is 20.6 kilometers right now. The reload time is 26 seconds. The 180-degree turn time is 36 seconds, and the maximum dispersion is 175 meters plus a sigma of 2.05. So that sounds quite nice, and I'm really eager to get my hands on this German cruiser to test it. And the shell velocity for both HE and AP is 820 millimeters.
And of course, chat knows because chat says that the O class was supposed to be a 190 millimeter belt with turtleback. So I haven't seen it, but that might be correct. There's actually a good comment here. Maybe this is something you want to talk about, Ev1n, from Raptor. He's Raptor with but not too many R's. Who says, if you're going to keep introducing battle cruisers, make them a separate class. It's unfair to keep matching other cruisers with battle cruisers. What do you think about the chance possibility idea of introducing them as a separate class for the purposes of matchmaking mostly?
The counter question I have is, why is it unfair? That's something I don't really understand. But the point is that we don't really want to do that. Firstly, because we don't have enough ships to warrant creating a separate class for that, because we would have to then create all the interactions for all the matchmakers in all of the game modes. And honestly, we don't think it's worth it right now.
Yes. Also, Taki seems to disagree with you and says large cruisers are not battle cruisers. He's
Well,
quite adamant.
The world is not decided on what they should call these, whether battle cruisers or large cruisers. Doesn't make it any easier to make a separate class.
Yes. But you know how it usually goes? I've been told is that you give it the name that sounds smaller because it's easier to get through the budget because people think it's cheaper to produce.
Wow.
This is what we know.
Yes,
This is what we
it's
were told
clearly
at
the case.
Yes, we were at the German Maritime Museum. They said like, oh yeah, you know, like the German Navy is now only producing frigates. The fact that the frigates are bigger than, you know, World War II destroyers is a completely irrelevant fact. Sounds small though.
And I think by now Chet has also realized that the ship does have torpedo tubes. So yes, it does have torpedoes. It's 2 quadruple launches with 8-kilometer torps.
Yes. And 65 knot speed, so
65 knot
not
speeds.
great, but
65
but
knots is
but
come on,
wow,
that's
yeah,
good enough.
I'm spoiled from a sow.
And the reload time is 90 seconds, so that's actually an interesting choice. It's gonna be a good brawling cruiser. I think
Yes.
it fits. It's for me, it looks like a bigger Scharnhorst with less armor.
Yes, which
So that should be quite interesting.
it should
Or nice annoying.
it should be a lot of fun. We'll see when it comes to testing. So
Wait before. So AA, you guys
Okay.
will read up later about the AA values. I can give you the continuous DPS. So for short range, it's 343. For mid range, it's continuous DPS is 569, and for long range, it's 150. And the maximum speed is 33.5 knots. That's quite nice. And turning circle radius is 880 meters with a rudder shift time of 14 seconds. So she's a bit sluggish, right? But it's a big ship. And the surface detectability, the stock one is 15.1. And yeah, I think what is also interesting, the available consumables, you will have damage control party, you will have the hydroacoustic search, you will have either fighter or spotting aircraft, and the heal, so the repair party. Those are your slots.
So what exactly did you leave for the dev blog post?
Basically the other values, like
Sure.
maximum damage and damage with an explosion and so on. The super detailed stuff that will be left for later. But
Yeah.
I think with this you have a good idea of what the ship is about, and all of the values in a nice sheet you will have on the dev blog, so you guys can look at it and also give us some feedback.
yes,
The
and
Eaker twins.
we have a
We
quest-
know that people love stats, right?
Exactly.
So
We
want
have-
to satisfy.
We have a good relevant question from Maki Mans who asks, how is it going to be obtainable? Money, coal, steel, or free XP? And you are correct. It is one of those.
Yeah,
will
we
be
actually
annou-
don't know yet.
Yes. You know, for ship testing purposes, we don't know yet, but you can expect it to be obtainable in the same way as the other cruisers. So one of the mentioned currencies. We'll figure it out. Okay, I think we need a second vote. What do you want to see next? British or pan-European? Vote now. Mr. Conway, how are the secondaries while you're voting? 7 times 220 millimeters. Do we have secondary ranges? Doesn't look like it.
No, it's not in here yet.
Wait, what? 7 times 220?
7 times 2,
Oh, yeah,
128 millimeters.
I
And
was
you-
like, I got my hopes up for a while.
Pan-British. Wow, it looks like Brexit is full in force. So I think Pan-EU wins. Yes,
But I mean, British is kind of pen.
that's fine. Let's British. Yeah, okay.
We have to
Um,
talk about this.
Yes, we do. So, without further ado, let's have a look. Our pan-European ship. The thing is, right, I really like the way we did these teasers, and I think for every single ship except for this one, I actually saw people already guess from the rough outline of the silhouette what's the right one. But because
So that's why I think it's actually not the best way, because our community has just expert historians who are immediately able to like overlay, I don't know, take something from their shelf, like a book with historical blueprints, and they overlay it with the screen, and they go like, aha, I know which one it is.
yes, okay.
I think we have to just find out some other way to make it much
Yeah,
more engaging.
We need to find some other way, but at least people spend some time doing research and discussing what it could be and stuff. But I can see actually in chat
Discussing,
people,
yeah, that's true.
People know what it is. So let's have a look at it here. It is, of course, the Dutch destroyer Friesland. Even though it has a German name, it is Dutch, and even though it has a Polish flag, it is in fact pan-European. The reason it's flying a Polish flag right now is because Pan-Europe is not in the game yet as a nation, so we need to test her somewhere. And since Bliskavica is also going to be moving to Pan-Europe, it seems the best fit. But on implementation, she's of course going to be pan-European.
Yes, and
I think she's very pretty.
Yes, and this DD is actually quite interesting.
Yes.
Because it lacks something that DDs usually have.
Yes, it lacks something very critical for most destroyers in some way.
Guys, can you see what is missing?
No torp. Yes, it
Exactly.
has.
It doesn't have torpedo launchers. So it will be a DD with let's say a little bit of an unusual way of playing it. It has an unusual set of consumables, and it doesn't have the torpedoes. So you're going to be more of a gunboat, because you do have 2x2 120 millimeter turrets here, and we have firing range of
Well, there's always like a 5% chance that during testing, if it turns out to be shit without torpedoes, then we'll like reevaluate whether that's actually feasible. We think it is for now, and pretty interesting, at least for a hardcore subset of our audience, to play a boat without torpedoes. But if it doesn't work, we'll definitely see if we can change that.
Exactly, but the initial concept, we want to see how it works out without torpedoes, and the reload time is also quite nice. You have 1.8 seconds, and that's stock. So without.
Well, it's a pretty modern ship.
Yes.
As far as World of Warships goes.
True, because it was actually built after World War II. So. Yes, definitely interesting one. So, guys, I will just give you rough data. So, hit points, it has 17.6k hit points. Regular plating, as far as I can see. The reload time for the guns is 1.8 seconds, and the 180 degrees turn time is 7.2 seconds. So, quite nice. The initial velocity for both shell types is 825 meters per second. I know that people care about these things, so I just want to give them some idea about it. And the consumables, so she will have a damage control party, she will have a smoke generator, she will have defensive A and hydro, and all of those in separate slots. So
no radar though.
No radar, exactly, no radar.
Yet.
No.
No? Okay. And the maximum speed is 36 knots with a turning circle radius of 620 meters and a rudder shift time of 4 seconds. And I guess... there's this one metric that is for DDs a bit more interesting than for others. The concealment, so the surface detectability is 8.2, and the air detectability is 2.9. So that should cover it.
Should be interesting to play, right? But it's got quite a long-lasting smoke, hydro, defensive AA, and then like Daka. So it should be able to at least chew through other destroyers quite nicely, which will make it interesting for caps.
Okay, let me double check. Is there anything?
Excellent. That means you have a look at questions. I had actually one question that I wanted to bring up because somebody asked what happens in terms of pan-European captains. So pan-Europe is of course going to be a completely new nation, so you'll have to train a new captain unless you own a Błyskawica and Polish captains, because they will of course be integrated into the glorious pan-European navy. So if you have one, you can already train it, and it will of course work on other ships.
Mm-hmm. So we said the question pops up why it has a Polish flag. So just to reiterate, it's going to be moved to the pan-European tree, but right now, because we don't have the pan-European tree in game, we cannot test it with that, so it will be moved later on to that. So just give it some time. This is just for testing purposes. It's not a Polish ship.
Yes, and somebody's asking, does anybody have Siegfried's shell velocity? Actually, funnily enough,
yes, and I do. I talked about this.
You do? I just want to... Yes, somebody asked it. So initial velocity for AP and HE both is 820 meters per second.
Exactly. Don't know about air drag, so don't ask me about that one. We will see when it hits the server. You can.
Yes. So we have one more ship. So chat, have you already figured out which one this is? Can you let us know? Which is the British ship hiding behind here? I'll give you a tip. It is not a destroyer. Ark Royal. Well, yes.
But for me, this is the great thing. When we posted this on Monday, and I was just looking at the guessing of our community, and it didn't take like 20 minutes for people to go like, I know this ship. It's this one. I can see it because of XYZ.
It's not the first time we posted it, though. people already knew before because they saw it in the Bismarck video.
Yes, that's true.
True,
Yeah,
true.
I saw that they yeah, but yeah, that's true. That's true.
There were a few comments that were quite insistent that they knew that we had a Ark Royal model.
But I have to say, I think it is a very pretty model. I really like the detailed planes as well, and yeah, I can't wait. It's also now with the changes our first Tier 6 premium carrier, and of course it is a very storied and famous ship historically, which is interesting.
Yes.
So the idea of the Ark Royal is, I guess, similar to other British ships. Its bombers and torpedo bombers have lower hit points, but have no, it's actually different.
Yes,
Lower hit
it's
points,
different.
but larger squadron sizes. So going a bit down sort of the Kaga approach in terms of we'll throw lots of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. But the planes are quite squishy, so you're still going to have to be very careful what kind of targets you choose.
And it may or may not have a plus 100% chance to kill Bismarck's rudder.
Is that something we can technically actually implement?
Technically, we can do almost anything. It just costs money and time to do it, and usually not worth it.
I would only approve this if then, Bismarck has a significant chance of detonating hoods.
Yeah, well, how do you know it doesn't?
Because I played Bismarck a lot.
Yes, and because a
Well.
long time ago we issued a challenge for one of our
Yes.
exclusive, like VIP bonus codes with like 150 euros worth of content on it, to the first person who gets detonated in a hood by a Bismarck, or who detonates a hood with a Bismarck, and nobody ever got back to us. So
Hey, I
guess
remember
it's
that, actually.
it's rare. Yes, and nothing ever happened. By the
Really?
way, guys,
Wow.
challenge still stands. I still
Yeah.
haven't seen it happen. Only in random battles, not a clanmate. We know the tricks.
Irving is asking, when do we get these ships? So this is, I know this question usually pops
Not
up,
soon.
even though we try to calm you down with expectations. I mean, right now we are talking about these ships, and they're not even on super test yet. So you know how it usually goes. They go to super test, they go through the initial stage of testing. At some point, they will enter live testing, and then once live testing is finished, they are going to make it into the game at some point. And that means it's still going to take a while. So
Yeah.
don't expect them very soon, but rather in the midterm future.
And one of our contributors, Helric, is asking, will Ark Royal come with U81?
U81? Why U81?
I don't know.
School me on the history. I mean, there's definitely a history hook there. It's just I don't know what it is.
And I see the question on YouTube from Katie Chan about torpedo bombs and attack planes. It actually has all three. You have attack, torpedo, and dive.
Oh,
Yes.
because U81 sank the Ark Royal.
Okay. I guess that was going to be the kind of thing. But yeah, you'll get detailed stats for all the squadrons, for the fire chances, for damage numbers, and everything later today at about 8 o'clock or 20 past 8 on our development blog on Reddit, Facebook, and our forums. So watch out there if you want to know more. I think it's time. Let's play one more game.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's wrap up
Okay,
maybe a few questions.
Let's maybe do a few questions, okay, before we do a game. So, guys, if you have a question, and specifically, ideally about what we just talked about, at World of Warships, and ask a question, and we'll try and get them.
So, because I see this question quite a lot. When will we get Italian BBs? When will we get Italian cruisers? When will we get Italian trees? When we get to them? That's the only answer I can give you.
I
Guys,
actually
we
know,
wanted-
but I won't say.
I know
Well,
too.
We know too, but we can't say. Sorry. No, but guys, it takes a lot of time to develop these things, and of course, we want to get the Italian tree into the game as well. But you already know that, well, with 8.4, you're going to have the full Soviet battleship tree implemented into the game. You know that the next tree is going to be the French DDs, and then we'll see what comes after.
Okay.
It could be whatever. So, but you can be rest assured that we want to get Italian ships into the game, and I'm sure at some point we will be able to get
Yeah,
them
they
into the
can
game.
rest assured that the first Italian tree will be a cruiser tree.
There you go. So you already have an idea of at least the first things you can expect from the Italians.
Wow, such leaks. Good question here from Van Mark 1994, who wants to know if we will be able to hoist national flags on pan-European ships.
Yes, of course, just like Pan-Asian ships.
Yes, yeah. I was waiting for you to answer.
Yeah. I got
All
that.
good.
I'm not sure what our latest information about this was, but what's the current stand of Viribus unitas? Nothing we can say, right?
Well, it's waiting for the introduction of the Pan-European tree, first of all.
Okay.
So when that is, when the Pan-European tree is introduced to the game, then Viribus unitis will have a chance to enter the game as well. I don't really know whether it's going to be there on release as well, but sometime after the release of the Pan-European tree for sure.
Cool. Are the Ark Royals torpedo bombers swordfishers? Killerbin is asking. I think they are, but I can't check right now because I don't have it on a game client.
They should
but
be, as far as I know.
They should be, yes. They look like it on the video, but I am not an expert, so I'll have to give you my best guess.
And I see the questions about how will you guys be able to get your hands on these ships. We can't say it. It's going to be for one of the resources that ranging from coal, free XP, steel to cash. So give us some time to figure out what we want to do with these ships, and as soon as we know and we're ready to share it, we will share it with you. You know us, guys. Give us some time, but we will let you know as soon as we can.
Yeah. Next question: why was Friesland chosen as the first Dutch destroyer and not, for example, Isaac Suez? It's probably another destroyer.
I have a good question from Gary. Will the Commonwealth ships currently in the game be put into the Pan-European tree?
No, that's not in plans, at least for now. At least for now, we like the distinction between the Commonwealth ships and the Pan-European ships. We might consider it in the future, to be honest, if it makes sense. For example, because of commander retraining, like people having more commanders to choose from for the same nation. But right now, it's not planned yet. And as for the previous question, I actually don't know. I would have to ask our historical research team why they decided that this Dutch ship should be the first one. It might be one of the usual reasons, and the usual reasons are because we simply have the blueprints, the access for the blueprints for this ship available for production, and we don't have we have some missing stuff for some other ships, or maybe just because this one is going to be premium and some other ones are planned for maybe Pan-European destroyer trees. I don't know right now.
Also, a related question to the Friesland. Do you know whether the rear turret on the Friesland has a 360-degree turn?
I have absolutely no idea.
Okay.
Me neither.
Sorry, guys. We'll have to see. I thought, maybe someone might.
I will find out after I try it on Super Test.
Okay.
Yes. Will Ark Royal be coal or cash? This is not something we are going to talk about before.
It runs on coal. It runs on coal and maybe runs on cash as well.
I see that obviously some guys also saw that not all of the ships that were teased on the dev blog were announced on this stream so far. Tomorrow we will have the Russian stream here on Twitch and on YouTube, where there will be more reveals. So
yes.
They will be also on the dev blog. If you don't speak any Russian, you can be rest assured that obviously we will post this on the dev blog as well. But you can see, I think it was 2 more ships tomorrow.
Yes,
on the
there's
Russian
a
stream.
British battleship and a Japanese destroyer.
Exactly.
Good question here as well. Are you going to be present at Gamescom this year? We are absolutely going to be present. I pretty much do nothing else I did nothing else this week than bury my head.
Then waiting for Gamescom.
Waiting for Gamescom, yes. So we're going to be there. You come around. We'll bring some swag for you. Should be good fun.
Yeah, I see the question from Hikaru Dragonfly about when will German Cves come to the game. I wouldn't expect it very soon. We just released a completely new CV tech tree for the Royal Navy, and it will take a while until the next one comes. So don't get your hopes up too soon.
Yes, and they pose some design challenges since they never actually built any, and they planned a few, but it's still going to be interesting to try to design that kind of tree.
Yeah.
I see a lot of questions, many of them unrelated, but we won't be able to get through all of them by any chance.
Why don't you 2 guys play, and I will.
This is a good idea.
Focus a bit on chat, so you guys can get some answers, and we can pester Ev1n a bit more with questions. and we also have some gameplay.
all
And
yours.
when it comes to the game mode, we can do that maybe after the next match or after 2 matches, something like this.
Yeah,
so we
absolutely.
can get through these questions first, and then we'll talk about the new game mode. Okay. Any option for a new kind of consumable to enter the game? So in general, we're always happy to test stuff, and if you take a look at all of the cool game modes that we had in the past, Halloween and so on, we're always happy to play around with consumables. But I don't think we have anything new coming up as introduction to consumables that are available in random battles or in the, let's say, general available battles. Right?
If you're asking me, yes.
Yes. Okay.
According to my current knowledge, we're not going to be adding any consumables to random battles in the nearest future, at least.
Yeah.
We might be testing some as usual with special events. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah. I see a question from NBA Cookie. When will we see UI optimizations in the port? So guys, we know that our port is not the fastest, and we're doing our very best to improve that. And for example, in the last update, 8.3, we actually introduced a change that helps a lot with the speed, for example, of the exterior tab in port. But this is a step-by-step process. If we would be able to just like snip our fingers and say, okay, UI, there you go, you're fixed now, then we would obviously do this. But this is because the UI is so deep into the game, it's very hard to fix it. And we do our very best because we know it's a pain point for you guys and for us as well to fix it. But it will take some time, but we are working on it constantly. So
Yep, baby steps, small incremental updates with almost every patch. Some of them you just don't see because they're just technical background implementations that will eventually allow us to translate them into improvements that you will actually see later.
Wow, can I just give a shout out to Stay Hydrated Bot, who says, "You've been live for just over 1 hour. By this point in your broadcast, you should have consumed at least 120 milliliters of water to maintain optimum hydration."
Good piece of advice.
This is a new feature. I approve. Good reminder. Thank you very much, Stay Hydrated Bot.
Twinch says all hands on deck consumable to increase general performance on any ship. I'm sure we would all love it.
Actually, why not?
Yeah. Serious question. When will MrConway unleash a beard? Asking for a friend.
So the problem is, right? It just doesn't work. Like never. Probably never is the answer. It just doesn't.
It actually, I feel you, Conway. It doesn't work for me either. Like I can go maybe like this far or maybe 2 more days, but after that I start looking like Jingles on a bad day, and it doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me. Well, it works for him though, but not for me.
Did you see the almighty Jingles Gandalf?
You mean Ganjadalf? Yes, I saw
yes.
Ganjadalf.
A red. Okay, I'm going to kill that name, but Rebless is asking about 4K coming to World of Warships soon? ?
Yeah, like half a year ago, approximately.
Like UI scaling, yes.
Yes. So
we did a few of that, or a bit of that rather.
Yes. German BBs and battle cruisers have torps. Many British BBs and battle cruisers had torps. Sadly, they aren't in game. Would we see that in the future ships, or just ignore the only famous BB to BB torp of World War II? As far as I know, we are not basically implementing torpedoes that are part of the hull and not movable. Am I correct? Because
yes.
Yeah.
It's mostly just a design choice, to be fair. It's not anything to do specifically with the fact that those torpedoes are in the hull or anything. Well, maybe a bit in terms of considerations of where they're located in the hull, and that the fact that they were sometimes located in the bow sections, which means that it would cause some issues for players in terms of prioritizing what they're doing in the game, whether they're driving, like dodging stuff with battleships, or actually aiming torpedoes while driving their battleship. But mostly it's just a question of whether we want torpedoes to actually be a USP for battleships, and the answer to that is mostly no. Doesn't mean that we will never have a battleships with torpedoes, but actually we do have battleships with torpedoes. It's just we don't want to overdo that.
I see a comment from Ainvarks about please fix the Yamato bullets 50% bounce. Well, actually, Yamato, there's not much to fix about Yamato. You're going to actually penetrate more than any other battleship or ship out there because you're going to overmatch the 32mm armor plating. So it's a bit more about what you're actually hitting. Will the matchmaker be improved to help tier 6 and tier 8 ships and how they suffer? Please answer this sincerely. So, Inshunter, we are answering all questions sincerely because if we tell you, if we can't tell you, and if we can't tell you, we tell you the truth. So, do we have anything coming up in terms of matchmaker improvements?
Can you say again what the question was?
There was a question basically about tier 6 and tier 8 matchmaking, whether we have any improvements lined up in the near future.
We were actually discussing matchmaking improvements specifically for tier 8 today. That's connected to competitive play. But I'm not ready or willing to discuss any details on that yet.
Okay. So guys, in general, we're aware of this because we read all of your feedback. You know, we are on the forums, we're Reddit, and all of the other community channels. So
and we play the game. We also play the game.
Sometimes, yes.
It's the same game.
Might have 1 or 2 battles in the game. So you know, we do see it, and we're looking into how we can improve it. But right now, we can't tell you anything specifically. What are the gun values on the Friesland, accuracy and Sigma? So main battery accuracy for Friesland is maximum dispersion is 108 meters, keeping in mind that it has 12.3 kilometer base range, and the Sigma is 2.0. How in the name of God can a Minotaur bounce 4 shells from the Yamato? Well,
math,
depending on how the armor works. And honestly, I would, if you're sometimes confused about how certain salvos do not penetrate, or why they, for example, not citadel hits, I would really recommend watching the How It Works video series about that, because it explains very well how the mechanics for penetrations work in general, because it will help you significantly in understanding how the game mechanics behind, you know, the easy part of you know, you aim, you hit something, but what happens after that is explained very, very well. And I also want to do a shout out because today we just released a new How It Works video, that is talking about the economy behind the game and how XP and credits and so on are calculated. So it's a very interesting video. Space Battleship Musashi camo, is that possible? So Space Battleship Yamato and so on, that's always a question of collaborations. So because we cannot just go and take brands and copyrighted things and just put it into the game without having an agreement with those companies. So that would basically need an agreement there.
Technically we can, it's just we shouldn't.
I mean, we can, but then we probably have to shut down the game.
Yeah, might have.
Yeah.
So, and actually the comment on that is that we tried, but they didn't want to.
See, it's not us to blame. Lately you get many penetration hits, but they deal no damage or disable something. You know what that's about. Yes. So we already tried to help with that issue a few months ago, if you remember, where we're trying to basically solve that issue of having these non-damage dealing penetrations that were displayed, but it also led to excessive damage dealt by smaller ships. So we actually tried that, I think, on super test and on public test, but then saw that it's not working as intended, so we couldn't really go forward with that. And I think there is something potentially coming up for this, but I can't talk about it right now. But we are aware of it. It's basically when shells hit certain sections that don't have any HP, so then you basically don't get any HP as damage. Victor Archer is asking, was it fun to play against the carrier in the last match?
Well, for me, I mean, no, not particularly. But that's also because the carrier, I think, didn't play like a regular carrier player would, because he clearly was out to get specifically me. I mean, this happens to us as Wargaming employees on occasion, especially when we're streaming. And I would posit that it would be just as unfun if any other class would be, overly focusing me. It's just one of those things. Yes, you can ruin someone else's game specifically with a carrier, or at least make it a lot harder to perform well. But overall, I am, and you'll hate me for saying this, but I overall like the carrier rework, and I especially like playing carriers after the rework.
Commander 1707 is asking whether those AA turrets on Friesland, they seem a bit big for normal turrets. So that should be 6 40mm Bofors and 2x2 120mm guns, basically the dual purpose main battery guns. So you have your dual purpose guns and the Bofors.
Making a mistake here. I might be making a mistake.
Oh, you might be in game.
Yeah.
I'm following through your mistake. I'll mistake with you.
Well, if we clean up the Conqueror, we'll be fine.
What else? When will Jingles Captain be released? In one of the next updates. So not in the future, not too far away. Actually.
Yes, it comes.
Yes, so not in the next update, but it should be in one of the following ones.
I mean, guys, we don't have to beat around the bush too much, right? The information that we are announcing is being added to Super Test now. I mean, just you can extrapolate from that, because it's with development with us as a cycle, it's always the same in terms of how long it takes from one update to the next until it is generally yes.
Mark is asking, will you ever write a new story about naval underdogs? You're a fan of historical articles. So I haven't seen any naval underdogs planned for the near future, but I will check with our content bros, because they love to write these things as well. But always depends a bit on what else has to be covered. But we are fans of historical articles as well, and we're trying to give you as much cool content, especially when it's related to our game, as possible.
I was Bismarcked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see.
So, what else do we have? Wooster Shark Camo will be back in the game. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, there's always a chance for that to happen again. But since it was a very specific event skin, actually, might be tricky. I don't know. There's a chance, but I can't promise anything. Will Jingles have some special skills? I don't know. You will have to wait for more information.
So I think I can answer that one. There is no current plan for special skills for Jingles. He is special enough on his own, and I think his beard is going to strike foe into many an enemy. But mainly, it is going to be a awesome Jingles portrait, and of course, the awesome custom Jingles voice lines.
Yeah. It's all about Davis asking, guys, can you announce the coal price of Yoshino? That's an easy answer for me. The answer is no. Will there be customized camo or stickers? We would have to change the entire system how that works. I personally would love to see that, have a customizable camo, but the the work that has to be done for that is probably quite significant. But we have a special guest here who can probably give us some insights into that, Arthur.
I can actually maybe give you some trivia on that, because, well, we don't really like the idea of stickers. We've discussed it many times and many years ago, of having kind of the same, or not the same, but similar types of decals that you have in World of Tanks. And mostly they're just too small and not visible enough on ships to really be like an impactful thing that people would put on their ships. Even though we do have flags and they're like not super visible either. But in terms of customizable camouflages, we did actually talk internally about a feature that would allow you to at least have sliders or things that would kind of allow you to to edit the colors of camouflages in the game. Not that anything immediately was planned, but this idea was also not shelved. So it might return to the drawing board in the future. And I might die in the very near future.
Thank God, only in the game. Yes, so guys, if you think that like having like a customizable camo would be something cool, also just let us know whether you think that this is a feature you would like to see in the future.
That in 3, 2, 1.
No, he's still alive.
That's a bit of a shame. I'm still alive, yes.
He's still alive as well.
I've spent most of my time, unfortunately, running away because I took a lot of damage early on, so I haven't really been able to be super impactful.
Ryuzi is asking, is the main IGN DD line underpowered with all of the new ships and CV gameplay introduced? Yes or no? I think there's probably not a clear yes or no answer to that question. With the CVs, yes, as a DD, spotting is, that's something you have to cope with by a CV. On the other hand, with the introduction of the CV rework, what we also changed is that planes cannot spot torpedoes anymore, which was possible beforehand. So for a torpedo-focused line in general, that's actually a helpful change. And the amount of shimakazes that are in the game, I think it's still the most popular DD, at least on EU.
Mostly what happened, sorry for interrupting you. Mostly what happened is that it did increase the skill curve just a bit, carrier spotting. It became a bit more difficult to play them, but the people who are generally successful in them, they are still as successful in those ships as they were before. So didn't really change that much in terms of how good they are in their role.
Yes, and in general, guys, it's not like we sit down once per year, we take a look at stats and say, okay, we need to buff X, Y, Z, we need to nerf A, B, C, and then we put it back into the drawer and don't look back for another year. We basically check stats on a daily basis, and our balancing team is always looking at, is there any need to change something? Because yes, the game is evolving, there are new ships coming out, the meta is changing and so on. So this is something that we monitor over time. So if we see the need to buff ships, we will do this. And you see how many ships we've buffed, for example, in the last 6 months. So that should give you a good indication of how we track ships.
Chat seems to be salty.
Chat seems to be salty, yes. By the way, I wanted to address a really quick question that I saw earlier. The challenge with the Hood Bismarck detonation is valid worldwide. The code is good on all servers.
Yes. And I just wanted to add that when we're talking, when we're kind of giving this kind of answer, we're not making this stuff up. There is literally no reason for us to fake these stats, because it's in our best interest to make sure that the game is playable, because it's our livelihood and our continued development of it. So believe us that if we say that if we really see a big impact on one class in our statistics, we will make changes to address that. But since we don't, you should also kind of be self-critical and reevaluate your own personal view. And I don't want this to sound like I'm attacking our player base, because I'm really not. It's just that there are a lot of people who are kind of basing or extrapolating a view of the whole situation on our whole player base based on just their own statistics from their own battles. And I know that some people have had a worse time after the carry rework, but it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody has the same experience.
Yeah. Related to this, I see a question from a math nerd. Love the name. Can we address the Yu-Yang being unplayed in competitive? That's something that comes in general with the way World of Warships is built, with different classes, with different nations, different traits and strengths and weaknesses. There are simply certain ships that are really good in randoms, but are not as good in a competitive meta, because the competitive scene usually requires very specific tasks to be done by certain ships, and there are ships that are simply better at executing that compared to others. This is why you usually don't see, for example, a Kurfürst in competitive. And that's also true for DDs. So if we would go ahead and balance all of the ships around the competitive modes, then we probably have troubles on like random battles, for example, because they have their own traits, they have their strengths and weaknesses. These ships are not all the same, so that's very tricky to achieve that in competitive, that each of the ships within a class from different nations are all on the same attractiveness level for that.
Cool. I think it's time to talk about the other thing we came here to talk about.
Did we have anything else?
We had something else, yes. We had something else, and like new ships are all well and good, but I think the upcoming thing that we're talking about is actually much more interesting than new ships, because we've got 300 ships, but we don't have 300 game modes. So shall we talk about the thing that we're going to talk about?
Yes.
Okay, how are we going to do this?
With
where's my secret piece of paper?
Button
okay.
One.
So we have a special game mode coming up.
Yes.
Right. And this time we're going with a slightly different theme from what we did before. So where we've done space-themed battles, we've done battle modes, we've done a bathtub-themed mode, we've done a variety of spooky Halloween-themed mode. We haven't done this theme yet. And I'm super excited because we are going post-apocalyptic. Let me push the first button. So you can. Oh, that's the wrong button. It's this button.
We're going post-apocalyptic, which means we're gonna wipe the servers.
Yes. So we've got a new game mode coming up, and that is going to feature something that we have never before done. So in this game mode, you are going to have 4 separate teams playing against each other. So it's not going to be like 2 teams against each other. It's going to be 4 teams of 3 players each, and you can division. So you can go and take your 2 friends and try and dominate the mode. Participation is going to be limited to special ships. There'll be only destroyers in this mode. And all these destroyers are going to be set up very, very interestingly and differently as well. So do you want to talk about the ships?
Yes, so basically, you will be able to only play DDs, and they're basically 3 categories of ships. Some of this might sound familiar with, for example, what we tested with the torpedo beat mode. So, first off, we have ships like the Z-52, Shimakaze, Daring as basically prototypes we're going to use for these models. So these are ships with good detectability range. They have a weak main battery in general, but that is controlled by the AI. And it's basically used like secondary guns would be on usual guns, just like in the torpedo beat mode. And the torpedoes are very strong, and you have your control over the torpedoes. And then the second type of ships is ships with weak and rather slow torpedoes. They have strong main battery guns, comparable to, for example, the gearing we had in torpedo beat mode, where the main batteries are also controlled by the AI, but you have really good maneuverability and engine power, and some interesting consumables as far as I know. And they're basically a good mix of things and very good at maneuvering. And then we have the third group of DDs, which are ships with long torpedo reload time with average torpedoes, but really good main battery guns that you control as a player. And that's Grozovoy, Harugumo, Kaba, basically used as prototypes for these ships to be played. So you basically have 3 types of ships. You have the all-rounders, you have the torpedo-focused ships, and you have the gun-focused ships. And yeah, all ships. So how the game mode works is all of these ships, they have the repair party mounted in general.
Should we look at the ships?
Yes, let's look at the ships.
Let's look
while
at the
we
ships
talk about
while we talk about them.
And so basically, you have the repair party and smoke generator, hydro, torpedo reload booster, main battery reload booster, and engine boost. But at the beginning of the battle, you don't have any charges. So you will have to actually activate these charges by going to special zones. So that's the interesting part of that. And let's maybe check out the ships first that you see in the background. We're just going to cycle through them. So these are ships with custom stats. So these are not just ships taken from the current level of characteristics that we have in the game, but they actually have custom stats fitted to that mode.
Yes. There's a question actually from Mr. Pelzmoth, one of our awesome new community contributors, who's asking if the camos are going to be available for normal ships as well. Evan?
That's the plan, as far as I know.
So there you go. And they look amazing.
I honestly think this is some of the best work our art team has done when it comes to skins. I absolutely love it. And we'll see a bit more about them later.
Yes. Let me just
the really interesting part of this thing, I think, is that we have like these new team mechanics where we have more than 2 teams. So I think that it'll, like, it's obviously just a temporary game mode, but I think we're going to have a lot of fun in it.
Yes, it kind of testing it also opens the way potentially to doing some other competitive stuff if you think about it, which may or may not be cool depending on how people play this event. We'll see.
Wow, Flumbus is saying the backstory for this mode is that Cves destroyed the planet and left it as an uninhabitable wasteland.
Well,
Might be the
why
background
not?
story,
Sounds
right?
like a script.
Okay.
We can pitch it, Flumbus. We'll pass it on.
When is this game mode coming, Nepturian? Well, not
At
in
the same
next
time as
update,
Jingles.
but not too far away. I mean, obviously this has to be tested first, so we're testing this on super test, and then once we see that it's ready to go, we'll put it into the game.
Yep. But of course, it doesn't just have ships and these skins that you can then use on your regular ships. We also have some cool custom commanders, which I think are very nice. I love when our team just goes off piste and they just do whatever they want, and the results. I think
what I
usually
love
very
most
cool.
is that those are based on people from the office, and it's just fun to see like what they look like when the art team is done with them, and compared to what they look like in real life.
Yes, the lady right there. Has she been on stream with us?
I'm not sure.
Yes, I think.
Maybe yes. Did you do a Steam stream?
Yes, but she wasn't on the Steam stream because she's actually our Steam community manager.
Yes.
But she was here when she was visiting Prague, and I think we forced her to at least have a short presence on the stream.
Yes, true. Yes, she came to say hello.
Yes.
Also, chat, no, I'm not one of them.
Yes, Evan is already a regular commander.
Okay, we can disclose it. Evan is Scarlet Fury.
I
would love to be Scarlet Fury.
I am also not one of the commanders, and neither is Crysantos. Crysantos and me are both still in the hope, because our commander portraits, like, they may come at some point, and we are still both hoping that we're not too ugly to be in-game commanders for the regular ships. We'll see.
Crysantos looks like a Siegfried commander to me.
Legendary one, clearly.
For Conway, I have no answer because there's a nuance whether he should be British or German, so I don't know.
We don't know either, but I think
I said
British.
Yes, but then I think I said I would prefer to be German. In game, at least.
I think you just alienated half of your fan base.
Yeah. But the other half loves him.
So we have our commanders. With the commanders, we have a suitably post-apocalyptic port.
Wait, I have to read out this comment. Sorry. Kenny saying the Rattenkönig looks like Evan during his late teenage cyberpunk phase. Do you know each other?
I have 2 questions. How do you know that? How does he know that I had one? Because incidentally, I did. And actually, I don't even want to ask the second question.
Okay. Well, maybe send a PM.
Yes, Commander Conflict suggesting I should be a dual nation commander, Evan.
Yes.
Technically we can. Anyway, I think this is a quite pretty port as well. Do we have any? Yes. Just
one thing. I wanted to go back to this one. If we can go to the second image. You cannot skip, right? So what you will see in a few seconds, because this is basically on rotation, is the part about the charges. So you will see basically an in-game screenshot where you see different zones, and the way these zones work is you move with your ship into that zone, and there are two things that can happen. You will either get one charge of the repair party, or you will basically get a charge of a random consumable. So it's a bit like what would I compare to, like Mario Kart, right? When you drive over one of these item blocks, and then they basically gives you a random consumable.
Yeah, but you will start with literally no consumables. They'll be
and
all completely empty.
I think we didn't really talk about like what's the goal of this battle, right?
No, I think that will become clear a little later on, right? But
Okay.
yeah, do you want to talk about it now?
No,
do
we
you
can
talk about
We
it?
can actually.
Right. Well, we looked at the port,
show.
right? Should we quickly look, guys?
You have to click it.
There'll be some boxes. I mean, who doesn't like containers? I think they look very metal, epic. But I think we're going to shut up for a minute and we'll let you have a look at how this looks in practice, and then we'll come back and talk about it. So we'll see you in 2 minutes. So, guys, as you saw there, this is going to be a very, very different experience. I'm a super big fan of the art style and of the look and feel of the whole thing. But you can see, did we talk about the actual how the game proceeds? No.
No.
Okay, so you can see this big glowing circle around the map, right? And this safe zone inside the glowing circle will contract. So it is kind of has some battle royale aspect mechanics to it as well, where you will be forced throughout the game to keep pushing towards the center. So there'll be quite a clash at the end. And the winning team is the one that survives the longest. So it is a proper deathmatch mode. So there is no winning by capping or something. You need to destroy all other ships or be the last one alive, which is something we haven't done before either. So there won't be like a countdown timer, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you're basically not just fighting one team, but you're fighting 3 other teams, and what players are going to do about that. And yeah, it's an interesting way of doing it. Also with the way you're still forced to kind of, if you like want to get the most out of it, you will have to go for these zones and get your consumables to increase your chances of actually surviving. And you're also pushed by that fiery circle into the middle of the map. So it looks like a lot of fun, and especially with the great artwork on the ships. You know, you saw the chainsaw and so on. It just, I don't know, for me it triggers all of my my little post-apocalyptic senses.
Some comments that we're late to the battle royale train. It's not about that, guys. This is not like we're going to make this the main game mode for World of Warships, and we're going to now push battle royale as part of our like USP or product offering. It's just a fun mode.
Yeah, I think we've shown, like with our last round of space modes, especially the torpedo beam mode, that these modes, they can just be, you know, like just fun, just pure fun. You know how to play the game because you know how the ships work and everything, but it's a completely different experience. And I really like that we can get together with a division to actually do this, like a division-sized fun mode with 4v4 teams. That's going to be absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, and guys, keep in mind that this is a time-limited mode, obviously. So it's a special event that we're going to do, and we're looking forward to testing it and also hearing your feedback about it.
Yeah, I'm mostly interested in the implications that it can have for later tournaments, for example, where you can have more than 2 teams fighting at the same time. That's going to be my takeaway for this mode, regardless of whether it's actually fun in this post-apocalyptic style.
Yeah. We have some questions about, will we get some epic guitar solo as a soundtrack? I don't know what the soundtrack's going to be, Yozura, but I'm confident that our sound guys are going to whip out something epic.
Lieutenant Spitfire is asking, can we get an ETA for this mode? I wouldn't say it's... I mean, I can't give you an exact date of when it's going to happen, but it's actually not that far away. So you will have to wait a bit, but not for too long. Yeah,
we're going to super test it now, and once we're happy with the state, we'll throw it to you guys in public test, so you're going to be able to play, get your hands on it, and most importantly, give us feedback so that when it does release, it's going to be suitably epic.
Yes. And granted, like I just said, it will be a time-limited mode because it's an event, not like a full implementation as a permanent game mode. And yes, Ragnitalk, the airship looks amazing. I absolutely agree.
Yes. Can we have playable airships, Evan? Because they are technically also ships.
What? Playable airships? Not, well, World of Warplanes? I don't know. Probably not in this game.
No, Zeppelins, airships.
Yeah, and what are you going to do? Move at half a knot? Or what?
Spectate.
Oh, spectate.
Spectate, yes. That would be amazing.
I'm not sure it would be super amazing for... I think it's one of those MrConway features that only works for one person.
But for them, it works amazing. What else was there? Why no tactical nuke consumable? Will also nuke the fun. So, yeah. What else? US Tier 10 Supercruiser whenever it might appear or whenever it might not appear. Sorry, we can't talk about ships that are not ready to be released, or we have anything to say about it.
But what we need another one after Alaska?
He wants a Tier 10 one, not just a Tier 9 one.
Super Alaska.
Not this low tier stuff, high tier stuff.
I'm sure we can figure something out. Will we ever get submarines permanently? Asks Wild Moon. It's your favorite question, Evan.
I don't know. Permanently? Maybe. Like, my answer is always probably eventually yes. Someday.
Good question from Shigure Kaini. Where's the destructible icebergs? Do we have any update on that?
That's a good question, actually.
Actually, I don't know. We should have asked Mimi when we were in battle with her.
Yes.
But she's
I
hiding
would
now.
have to. I would have to run to the other room and check.
Mimi,
Unless you already went home.
If you're in chat, you can now go over to Evan's desk and hold up a paper with the answer if you're allowed to say it.
I think she's allowed to say it. It's just that she's not here.
Oh, Captain Crap is is asking, what about a nation versus nation game mode after French DDs get released?
Sneaky stream sniping.
Hello. Wait, is he not going to say hello at least? Can he? I mean, he could tell us about icebergs.
You know how these development directors are. They're very shy. But I'll ask him actually.
Yes. So while he's asking, answer to nation versus nation, with the way our nations are balanced in the game, I wouldn't expect it. This would be maybe something for scenarios, where you could potentially do something like this, but for regular game modes, classes and nations, they have their own traits, so I don't think it would be the best idea.
Sergey says this summer.
This summer, to cool you down.
This summer in World of Warships, yes. Icebergs are going to get a
global warming is getting worse.
Alpha Kill is spamming for ages now. Buff Roma World of Warships, guys. So, in general, if the Roma needs a buff, we will buff it. But I can tell you that, at least from the stats that we saw, she's not really in a dire need of a buff. But obviously, we'll keep an eye on her, and if we see that she does need one, then we'll give it to her. Just like we do it to any premium ship out there that needs it, or any regular tech toy ship that needs a buff.
Yes, trust me, I like playing my Roma, so if it's not good enough, I'll make sure it's better.
Just like with the Kreml.
I don't know, Evan, if there's anything we want to say about it. Probably not, but maybe, who knows? I'm going to try, because I've seen quite a lot of our friendly neighborhood weebs asking about more Azure Lane content, especially skins that are already present in Warships Blitz. And then, of course, the eternal cry for another go at Arpeggio ships. Is there anything you kind of want to say to our because we have a heart for weebs?
Not too much I can say. We're we have our we have our hands on the treasure trove of weeb content constantly, but we're usually not allowed to reach in. So we're constantly talking to some partners or trying to get licensing deals for more of this type of content, since our community seems to love it very dearly. So there may or may not be some more stuff planned already, but it all depends on final agreements with our partners, so we're not at liberty to discuss right now.
Yeah, I see a question from Relentless93. Will the German battleship line get a bit of love one day in Dispersion or Sigma? So I know that Seb Octavian, actually, when he joined the American stream a few weeks ago, why would you interrupt me? So now I forgot what I'm saying. The German BBs. So Seb Octavian also went, actually, just double check to confirm, but the German battleships are performing on a good level. So there is no buff incoming in the near future. But if we see that, with the game progressing and at some point German battleships falling behind in the comparison with other ships on the same level, then we will obviously give her some love. What love that will be, we will have to see.
Yes, and rest assured that your favorite twins are constantly annoying people in the development team about buffing certain German ships and restoring reload time nerfs.
We whined a bit about the Hindenburg nerfs.
A little bit, just a little bit.
And Hellspike is asking, can you get the Kreml and the Pobeda both? Yes, so Pobeda will actually be named Slava in the game, and you will be able to get both of them at the same time. Which tech tree is the next after French DDs? One with ships. More I cannot say. We already answered the nation versus nation battles. Is there anything you can say about it wouldn't be a warship stream if that question would not come up. So Lieutenant Spitfire is asking, is there anything you could say about the reappearance of old glorious Kitakami?
Kitakami? Which of my usual answers should I choose? I usually go with
number two. Let's go with number two.
I don't remember which one was number two, but I usually go with Over My Dead Body. But
come on,
let's go with the other one. Let's go with the other one.
We should, just to see the world burn.
No, honestly, I think that a time will come for Kitakami in World of Warships, but this time is not now. I think people will still have to wait, and only the oldest of our core community who stay around the longest will probably see Kitakami in the far future. When we have different game modes than we have now, different audience makeup, where there's just more room for skilled play, or there's a specific mode that allows Kitakami not to kill half of her own team first.
Yes, absolutely.
Kinuba says, if Conway and Crysantos will ever be in-game captains, they better have anime portraits and are voiced by Japanese voice actresses.
Oh, you missed
I
a
would
better
support
comment.
this just because
You
it's
missed a
funny.
better comment. There was a comment saying Conway Commander only in co-op.
You know,
And no consumables, no premium consumables. Will we see? Will I ever see Musashi again? Access, you will definitely see her in the game. Played by other people if you don't have it yet. Will she ever be available again? There's always the chance, but I don't know when. I saw a question also about Slava and Kreml, whether they're going to be coming out at the same time. Definitely not. Kreml will come first as part of the regular Russian tech tree or Soviet battleship tech tree, and then Slava will come at some later point. I mean, she's still in testing, so and that's in early testing, so that will take a while.
Yep.
Will there ever be an option to opt out of CV matches? I would say it's very unlikely because CVs
Totally opt out? No.
Yeah. Okay, so here's actually clear now because it's one of 4 classes in the game, and just like any other class, she's in the game and you cannot opt out. It's the same thing for the BB. Would probably love to opt out of DDs, would make the life easier of a BB, but that's not how it works.
I just realized that there is already a whole generation of World of Warships players that have never ever actually seen a wild Kitakami.
Yes.
I only saw her once, and I've been playing since closed beta.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. You were never there for the. We should prepare like a small video or something, like a reminiscence video for these people who because once they've seen it, I think they'll maybe they'll stop asking.
It goes together with what the game looked like back then. I'm not sure that's worth sharing, to be honest. Like, as an anecdote, I had an interview today with a podcast in America, and we were talking generally about the evolution of games, and the topic came up. And if you think about back in 2014, like pre-release, what the game looked like and what it looks like now, what the critical differences are, and what the visual style is, like how it improved.
It's crazy.
It's super funny to look at those videos, and say, people liked the game when it came out or before it came out in beta, and now they're like complaining, or on the opposite side, they're not complaining, they also like it, but there's such a clear difference and huge difference. It's so funny.
I remember playing an internal like pre-alpha tournament with the team back in Paris versus devs in St. Petersburg, and we got absolutely demolished. But the game, it was like, I don't know. You must remember the time when it was basically World of Tanks artillery, but on water. It was just like it's crazy to believe that it's the same game.
Yes, it was a carrier gameplay. It was drag and drop your shells around, basically. Crazy.
Yeah, the game has developed quite a bit since then. 2 additional questions. So Pascal on YouTube is asking, will the Shinano ever come to the game? And this time I will let you answer, Arthur.
Ooh, spicy. Probably yes. Since we have that model, it's just a question of. So it was related to a question that was also asked in chat, like whether we're working on the support carriers concept that we were talking about in Waterline before the carrier rework. So yes, we are going to still be considering doing support carriers out of the odd carriers that were removed from the game, and we also have some legacy carriers that are lying around and waiting for better times. So it's entirely possible that Shinano will make an appearance either as a premium carrier. It's just that the question would be then, if she has to be on an even tier, should she be tier 8 or tier 10? And a Yamato hull on tier 8 is like questionable, let's say. But it's not impossible that she will return.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Wild Guzman is asking, did you all work for Wargaming before Ships was developed? So for me, that's a very easy answer, and no, because I joined basically because of World of Warships. What about the two of you?
I have a long origin story. I started off working in customer support for, mostly World of Tanks back then. And so I was there while, World of Warships was already being developed, but I was one of the first people to play the internal alpha back then, long time ago.
Pretty much the same for me. I started in CS. But when did you join Wargaming, Conway?
2014 January, I think, or 2013? No, I think 2014 January.
So I was there 2 years before you in CS.
Yes. You suffered for longer. How long did you stay in CS?
I was already out of CS when you came to CS.
Yeah, I paid my dues for a year and a half.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah.
I skipped the CS part. So we have two more questions.
Slacker.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like like copy pasting develops character. I tell you, like, and only.
I'm sure it does.
It does.
Roberto Fongaro, I love the name, is asking, will the battleship Ise be added? Only the battleship variant attempt number 3, because he's been trying to ask that for 2 additional times apparently. Maybe at some point, right? In general, that's the thing. If we have ships that we can talk about, like the ships that we announced earlier today, we're very happy to do that, and we want to add as many ships as possible. But this is a ship that is not currently, as far as I know, in the pipeline for the near future. So maybe it's
not in production, but it's one of those ships, just like almost all of the historical ships that the community has ever requested directly to us. It's on a list in the backlog, basically, of potential ships that we can produce in the future, as a premium specifically.
Yeah.
But it's not planned in production for the nearest future, as you said.
Roy Edwards is saying, please answer me. Average game is over in 12 minutes. Ships dead at 5 minutes. Too many potatoes on one team. Matchmaking needs a fix. Please, can you address this? So for random battles, we want random battles to be random in the way it assembles the team. That's just the idea behind random battles. And well, we are trying our best to help players when it comes to developing their skills. We have our CCs. We're trying their best to create content and guides how to play ships. We're also, for example, creating videos like the How It Works series. We have portal publications trying to take players by the hand and show them how to improve their gameplay. But at the end of the day, it's up to every player how much time they want to spend to become a better player. We do have modes like competitive modes, for example, ranked or clan battles, where definitely the matchmaking is more balanced in terms of skill on both sides, because players had to get up to a certain point to be matched there. But overall, for random battles, at least, this is not something we are going to change. Okay, can we have the Super Yamato, please? No. Unless, Arthur, are we going to add Super Yamato?
I think the answer is eventually maybe.
Sorry, say again.
Super Yamato when?
What's a Super Yamato?
I guess probably a paper design, but Yamato that is even bigger than regular Yamato.
Why not?
So you heard it first here. Why not?
Super Yamato coming soon. Guys, I think we should play one more game.
Okay, let's play one more.
Evan, are you in?
Yeah, sure.
Come on, let's.
I'm the last one in, so might as well stay the night.
The OM is saying, AKA the Death Star. Probably. It's like I used to be the German community manager, and one of the things that the German community loves to ask for is the H-44, because clearly the H-44 is going to dominate the seas. But then again, our game is currently built around 10 tiers, and putting in the H-44, you would have to up that to a different level, because you can't just say, oh, yes, you know what, here, have H-44 with what I think 50 50 centimeter guns, or even 52. It's tricky.
So Super Yamato, apparently Yamato with 5 times 2 510 millimeter guns. Sounds
Okay.
balanced. And there's a question: will there be a World of Warships Legends stream anytime soon? Leo Emerson, yes, I believe there will be one for you next week, and I think it is Wednesday. Do you know, Crysantos? Legends stream, is it Wednesday?
So the Legend stream, yes, for the next update is actually next Wednesday.
Yes, so Wednesday evening, right here.
I think it should also be added as event. If it's not an event yet, I will go with our Legends friends to actually add it as an event here on the channel, so you can go watch it. But it's definitely next Wednesday, yes.
Let's go. It's the green button at the top. If you're
you are
looking for
both
it.
are taking battleships, so I'm here to balance that out, I guess. Right?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm a battleship player, so. And
Are
I'm
you,
grinding
are,
my,
are you, are you,
my
are you
commander,
sorry
so-
though? That's my question for you.
I mean, no, I'm not, but, you know.
Okay. Actually, let me take a baby battleship.
There we go.
That's no moon. Witness the power of my fully functional battle station.
Wins is saying, will Tournay come back playable?
Tone?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So we promised to work on hybrid carrier designs after we're done with the rework. So to be fair, we haven't really started yet, but it's still planned. So probably we're going to start working on them somewhere in the second half of the year, to be fair, and we'll see how far that gets us. And Tone is part of the deliverables for that feature.
There we go.
I'm excited.
Harmon MJ is saying, if you were to add any of the other Iowa class ships into the game, New Jersey, Wisconsin, Kansas, Illinois, and Kentucky, which one would you personally like to see? So I don't have an opinion on that because I'm not an expert when it comes to those ships. But maybe Evan has a preference.
So the thing for us is that if we're not Americans, we don't have any immediate emotional attachment to any of these ships. And if we don't know like the engineering differences between them, it's hard to say what kind of gameplay effect that introducing that ship could have. So if I had to choose, I would first go and ask the balancing team, well, guys, do you have an idea for alternative gameplay styles for an Iowa ship? If yes, then I would, after I have that from them, I would go to the historical team and say, guys, do you believe that one of these ships fits from their engineering quirks or history better to this playstyle? And I would have an answer. But personally, I have no opinion, just because I'm not American, so I'm not an expert in American ships or what they mean for me.
Okay.
I think sorry, I just want to say, because like if we're talking about hybrid designs, right? I think like the craziest of the hybrid designs, and I really hope that we can make it happen at some point, because HMS Furious, before it got completely converted to a carrier, was a battleship, and then what they did is they sawed, I think, the back turret off and put a flight deck on the back before they then also removed the front turret and turned it into a full carrier. But it ended up having a flight deck and one 18-inch gun,
which would be a Furious secondary.
which would be a hilarious ship, I have to say.
But an 18-inch secondary hit would be unfair for most people, I think.
Well, it would have quite a long reload time, but I don't know. You know, like I think it would be like the counterpart of the KV2.
So I think, well, that's part of the hybrid mechanics. If we can figure that out, it's probably going to make it into production as well, just because, as you said, it's hilarious.
Hindenburg turning.
Okay, let me. There's an Atago. Beautiful. Broadside. Let's go. There was a question about the design of the pan-European flag. Is that final?
Yes. Why?
It was just a question.
Maybe
Dog Snake, you can give some context. That hurt more than it should.
Well, we've had some issues deciding, and with the pan-European tech tree, I'm a little bit scarred I don't know if that's a story that we want. It's a fun anecdote.
No,
But
it's not.
Evan,
No,
I think
no,
it's a fun anecdote in hindsight.
I've had this discussion even this week still.
But Evan will need to decide if that's an anecdote we can share.
I mean, sure, we can share it. It's in the public space, since our community, at least the people who were following us around last Gamescom, they would have heard about it. But the thing is that it doesn't really matter what the flag looks like, as long as it's kind of generically obvious that it portrays Europe. And the only thing that we kind of have to say about it is that it just represents Europe. Nothing that's actually on the flag has any meaning in terms of the ships that are going to be coming into the game or the countries that will be represented in the tree. Like, it's just meant to represent visually the European continent in general.
That was quite unlucky there.
So are we just bow-owning against...
Well, it'd be good if you can just tank a bit. Well, there's a...
Well, I can tank a bit, yes.
No, I'm broadsiding.
That's
baiting.
the man. But maybe push up here and let's do the thing with the bow on together. But we really have to be careful with that.
Well, you need to push a bit up because otherwise they're just going to focus.
I'm behind you guys, and they
well,
see me. So
screw it then. I'm pushing in.
no, you can
but
wait
I
for
need-
me. I'll
Okay, well,
kind
come
of,
with me. But we need to take the pressure off Crysantos. That's the most important thing right now.
There's also a question about so if we would add any Swedish ships, would they be in the pan-European tree?
That's not something I want to answer right now because we don't know.
Well, then the answer is we don't know.
The thing is that we kind of have a list of potential nations and ships that could be in the pan-European tree, and a list of potential ships and nations that could have their own nations later on. And as an example, Poland has been moving between these two lists roughly once per quarter. So there's no meaning for me to say like yes or no right now, just because it can change depending on our current development status for some features and for ships and all of that stuff.
Okay. Evan, just to get back to the game, if we're pushing this, we really need to push this.
I'm pushing.
I need you to, because you have hit points right now, I need you to go ahead and do it.
I'm pushing, it's just I'm trying to flank them as well. I'm only worried about Z52 that's missing somewhere.
Yes, it's right
Well,
in
but
front
you
of
just
us in the smoke cloud, and I kind of need Crysantos
Awesome.
to push up and radar it.
This is absolutely fine.
It's just that I'm. Yeah.
Okay, well, did you see him? Was he there?
What?
I
Well,
didn't.
yes, he was. You
Oh,
can
yeah,
see
he
him spotted
wasn't-
on the minimap.
Yeah, it wasn't rendered for me, okay.
Yeah. Next time you need to push a bit more.
Well, I was waiting for the Kreml, I didn't want to do it all alone. Oh, hello Zed. Oh god, that's at least 2 I'm taking from volley number 1. Can we please shoot the Zed? Everybody can. Oh god, I'm double flooding. And he's unspotted.
Why Stalingrad is work in progress? Because we forgot to push it up. It's my fault. Derp, not really derp, but you know, it's we got some good service, and I could not retreat too much because otherwise these guys would have had an angle on me. And sometimes that happens if you want to play your cruiser, you know, to help your teammates to use that radar efficiently, then you'll have to do this. Otherwise, I could sit in the background and just snipe from the back and set some things on fire. But that's not how I play my cruisers, at least not once.
That's much better.
You can play slightly further out? Absolutely. Of course I can. But with this positioning here, you want to be close to that island. But it wouldn't have made that much of a difference if I would have been a bit further back, because these guys clearly focused the fire, which is absolutely okay.
Smart even.
Roberto Fongaro, we already answered the question
I'm
about
shooting
the
Montana,
Shimano,
you
so
can
please
shoot
stop spamming.
August.
With the pan-European tree being confirmed, does that mean Viribus Unitas will also be pan-European? Yes, Bob.
Burnt down from secondaries. God damn it.
Kenneth is asking, will you be adding any more interesting... chat keeps scrolling. Will you be at any more interesting long-term campaigns like the Yamato and Halsey ones in the future? A lot of fun playing these long campaigns, and they've kept you playing more and more with the super container rewards. You love to see more of them. Is there? I mean, there's always a chance, right? But do we have anything we can say about this?
Yeah, nothing specific, but of course, yes. I mean, we're trying to have a campaign, at least a long campaign with every commander, the legendary commanders that we're introducing. We might, Z52, sorry. We might actually change that that MO that we have. Aye, almost.
Nice hit.
We might change that method of operating and of adding legendary commanders, so we don't necessarily want to lock them behind a long grind. But then we'll figure out whether we still want to do super long campaigns separately from them. So we'll probably add one or two.
Submarine is asking, once ARP becomes a thing again. So I can already stop the question here. So we had a collaboration with Ars Nova.
This will hurt. Ouch.
That lasted until, if I remember correctly, the 31st of December 2016.
Wow.
And that was, I know, because that was, I had a lot of questions back then about this. But that's when basically the collaboration ended. And that means that we don't really have any content we can put into the game unless we have a new collaboration. And if that happens, then obviously we can do more stuff with this, but right now there's no chance of ARP ships coming back or adding new ARP content. Do we have any news on, because we talked about this a lot, about changes to IFHE? I don't think so, right?
Can you say again? Sorry, I was.
I haven't heard
busy.
anything.
IFHE. Anything we can say about potential changes to IFHE?
I know that our designers are prototyping IFHE changes almost constantly. So there's a lot of different ideas, but nothing very specific that I can say right now.
Okay. When legendary modules for newest tier 10s? Asked Vincent Fury. Well, when we... I mean, legendary modules are not something that comes with the tier 10 ship once it comes out. It's something that we will add at some point to give another option in terms of, you know, what you can mount and how it can affect your gameplay. So there's no clear date for that.
That is generally correct.
Do you want to add anything to that?
Not really, not at this time.
Okay. Yeah. So guys, if we have a new legendary module coming out, we will definitely let you know. But right now, that's not the case. But this is why we also highlight, you know, when we release a new tier 10 ship, that a legendary module is not coming with that ship automatically. Might be added in the future, but not automatically.
Oh, now
okay.
it's the chance to catch
Yes.
So
us.
the
Maybe now.
in-game sound might be a bit too
So
loud.
unlucky.
Is there an estimate when scenarios like Cherry Blossom or Dunkirk might come back? So the thing is with Cherry Blossom that we need CV AI to be in place for that. We actually released a dev blog post around 2 weeks ago where we talked about future changes to CVs, basically what is already kind of set in stone and things we want to do. And we're going to add CVs to co-op with AI, but for the scenarios they need a bit more tweaking.
Predicted.
So we're not ready yet for that. So I can't give you like a proper ETA, but we want to add them. But it will take probably a few months, I would say. So don't get your hopes up yet.
Actually, we wanted to have Dynamo back ready for the anniversary, which is coming up soon. But we didn't manage to get the carrier balancing back, because after the carrier rework, all the planes in Dynamo, they have different characteristics, and we didn't have the time to rebalance them. That's why it's not ready yet.
Yes. And a piece of pizza. That your question is actually entirely related to this. Is there any openness to improving player agency in the AA interactions? So we want to change basically how the priority sectors for AA work, but it's too soon for us to be able to share how that's supposed to look like. But that should definitely help with the player agency in that interaction between AI and the planes. And can you explain the upcoming CV balancing changes? Wild Moon, I think the best thing to do is actually read up, because it's a lot of things actually coming. For 8.4, I can give you at least the two main things, which is the initial spotting or the initial launch of planes. There's a delay in the future, depending on the tier, up to 45 seconds on tier 10, until CVs can launch the plane, which is going to delay the initial spotting, which gives you more time as a DD or a cruiser, even as a battleship, to get into position where you can, for example, use terrain to your advantage. On top of that, because we saw the feedback about the damage rolls on DDs done by HE dive bombs, so we actually reworked the way the CV interacts with smaller targets due to the aiming. And how that works in detail, you can just read up on our dev blog. And in general, we will keep working on the balance until it's in a place where we're happy with it. But it's definitely something that is not finished yet. This is a process where we have to do it step by step to get to a point where it works properly. Yoshino balanced, or does it need changes? Is Yoshino final by now? We basically made a change.
More or less,
I think it was even this week, where we added a new torpedo option with the 12-kilometer torpedoes instead of the 20-kilometer torpedoes, so you can actually pick which one you like. Outside of that, I don't think she's probably too far off the final state, but I'm not sure whether we can say she's final yet.
I think it's close to final, but I also haven't checked, to be fair. I haven't talked to the guys about those last testing ships.
Yeah, exactly. There's also a speed boost, a global adjustment. Yeah, and in general, guys, we should probably, when we wrap this up right now, we should probably just go quickly through the ships that we showcased today. I will do this while MrConway is looking for someone to raid on Twitch. So guys, if you're on YouTube, already thank you for watching. If you want to participate in our usual raids that we do on Twitch, where we basically go to a different World of Warships channel and just raid them with everybody in chat, come over to Twitch. We're on twitch.tv/World of Warships. And we're going to raid Contributor. We're only raiding contributors, MrConway. But what I wanted to show you is the ships that we talked about. We had the Ark Royal, which is an upcoming Tier 6 premium CV. And we also talked about Siegfried, which is an upcoming Tier 9 premium German large cruiser. That's what we call it, with 318mm turrets and torpedoes, 8-kilometer ones. And we also talked about the first DD that, at least in the testing stage that we have right now, coming up next week for Super Test, we have the Friesland, which is a Tier 9 DD that doesn't have torpedoes. If you want to read detailed information about all of these ships, the dev blog post should be going up within the next 30 minutes, where you can see all of the stats, read up on all of the things about the ships that we're ready to share at this point. The same thing is true also for the new game mode that we talked about. And yeah, I think I think that's pretty much it. Let's go back to
It is pretty much it, and but unfortunately, I have to say that when you say we raid community contributors, I would, but there are none live.
Because they're all probably here.
They're all probably
Okay,
here.
so we can raid.
We are
Mr.
gonna raid a new and upcoming streamer who would like to be a community contributor, and if you like his channel, give him a follow. Maybe check out a stream or two of him. That'll definitely help him on his way there. We met him in Berlin. He's a nice guy. And I think he plays a good game of Warships as well. So please say hello to him. What do we want his chat to say when we get there? Because we're gonna have to kill his chat. So what are we gonna do?
Arthur.
Arthur.
Do you have any idea what we can say?
But what do you mean?
We are going so the way this works is we're going to take everybody in this chat that is currently everybody who's here on Twitch is going to be onboarded to Boomfung's channel. And we obviously want to rate him with like a sort of message, like poi, but not poi because we do that too often. So we want to have like a funny statement that we can post. So now is your perfect time to troll by proxy.
I think it would be pretty funny if everybody started requesting Mikasa games.
Okay, guys, yes. So we're going to go for play Mikasa right now.
Yes, exactly. Last little shout out to Hikaru Dragonfly on YouTube, because no, we do not stop reading YouTube chat. We are always watching. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much, Evan, for staying late. He lives in Russia, so he's ahead in time. So it is the middle of the night where he lives. So yeah, please chat.
I'm actually already working. I've started my working hours for tomorrow, so it's fine. No, I'm joking. Yes. It's fine, guys, and I like hanging out with you and talking and chatting and playing sometimes and actually winning sometimes, even though we don't usually. But at least this time Kreml was on the top, so we don't need to buff it anymore.
That's true.
Okay, so we're fine with it. Yeah, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't done it yet, click that follow or subscribe button. And otherwise, we will see you next week.
Yes, same time, same place.
Exactly. And with that, we'll send you off and have a very nice evening. Bye-bye, guys.
Goodbye. See you then.
Bye-bye.
Trávu nezanechá dojem.
And with that, we'll send you off and have a very nice
Nice job.
Bye-bye, guys.
Goodbye. See you then.
Bye-bye.
Oh shit! Oh my god, World of Warships coming in with a huge freaking raid, dude. Are you joking me? Holy